One by one, the men became rich. One by one, they began to disappear. They all slept with an ordinary-looking woman who walked into our village barefoot. I remember the day she arrived. She was striking, otherworldly. She wore a long black robe that dragged in the dust, and her skin was pale, as though the sun had never touched her. Her eyes seemed ancient, deep pools that had seen many lifetimes. Nobody knew who she was. People only called her Adiz Iroania, the beautiful woman. She never greeted anyone, just walked silently into the old abandoned compound at the edge of the village. Birds flocked to her rooftop each morning and sang like they were enchanted. Her compound smelled sweet, like fresh rain and herbs. We began to watch her from a distance. Children stopped playing nearby. Women gossiped as they fetched water. Then strange things began to happen. The poorest men in the village started visiting her. They went to greet her, and something unexplainable always followed. Okafor, the palm wine tapper who drank more than he walked, suddenly built a 2-story house. Tund, the exhausted bricklayer, stopped carrying blocks and started driving a white Benz with lashes and a bone-straight wig. The whispers grew. Then someone said it plainly. They say, not that woman. They say, sleep with her. At first, it seemed like rumor, but more and more men visited her at night. Crates of malt, bottles of palm wine disappeared into her compound. It was not love, it was hunger, greed, desperation. Each man who entered her hut came out with wealth, money, cars, clothes. Even married men couldn't resist. The village chairman left his wife and began floating through the village like smoke from a burning bush. The women of Umuole couldn't keep quiet anymore. They were losing their husbands. Men came home late. Some stopped talking to their wives, others began beating them. They walked around like kings. Mama Ifioma caught her husband sneaking out at midnight. Mama Ronk's husband told her to stop cooking. He said the woman by the palm grove fed him better. One afternoon, the women gathered under the big mango tree beside the square. Gozi stood up, tears in her eyes. We are losing our men to that strange woman. Another woman screamed, she must be a witch. Let's go and burn down her compound. But Mama Enkem, the oldest woman in the village, raised her hand for silence. Her voice was firm. One thing is clear. It is they who chase her, not the other way around. The women agreed to be cautious, but they were not ready to wait. That very night, 5 more men visited the mysterious woman. One of them was Kunnel, the bricklayer turned overnight millionaire. By morning, his gate was wide open. His Benz was still parked outside, keys on the dashboard, but Kunnel had vanished. Next was Baba Gozi, the one who married a city girl. His wife said he got a call at midnight, stepped outside, and never returned. Fear began to grip the village, yet the men didn't stop. Maybe they didn't follow her rules. Maybe their time had simply run out. The women begged, cried, and warned, but the men did not listen. Everyone was asking the same thing. Who is she? Why do the men vanish after they receive her gifts? Then one night, the village shook again. Ibuka, one of the blessed, was seen screaming in his compound. His eyes were red. He shouted, she's calling me. Before anyone could stop him, he ran into the night barefoot and shirtless. He was never seen again. Even the bravest men began to fear. The women called another meeting with the elders and the chief priest. The chief priest said nothing for a long time. Then he finally spoke. You rushed to a woman you did not understand. The room fell silent. Even the air paused. He added, the spirits have begun to feed. The next morning, the skies turned gray. Clouds gathered as if spirits were waiting. The women tied beads to their necks and charms around their waists. Mama Enkem carried a calabash filled with bitter herbs. Mama Halima held a broom soaked in palm oil. Over 30 women marched through the village like a rising storm. And no one dared stop them. Men hid behind trees and shook their heads in fear. When the women reached the compound by the palm grove, they stopped. The gate was already open. She had been waiting. The yard was silent, no smoke, no birds, only stillness. Come out, they shouted. We need to see you. No reply. They began chanting war songs from their grandmother's time. They poured libation, sprinkling salt and ashes. Mama Halima, trembling with anger, stepped forward and raised her broom. You have taken our husbands. You have taken our peace. Answer us. She struck the door. Once, twice. On the third strike, the door creaked open. Inside, the hut was empty, except for an old mirror leaning against the wall. Mama Enkem stepped in. Her eyes landed on the mirror. she gasped. Inside the glass were the missing men Okafor, Baba Gozi still trapped, but alive, silent. The women screamed. Some ran, others froze. Then from behind the hut, a soft voice floated in the air. You should have stayed in your homes. She appeared Adiz Iroanya, her eyes darker than ever. She stared into their souls. You want to fight me? You've seen nothing yet. The wind swirled around her. The ground beneath the women trembled like it breathed. Dust and leaves flew in circles. She stood tall, unmoved. Her wrapper loosened, her face wet. Mama Halima shouted again, but her voice cracked. Adiz tilted her head. You should ask your husbands. The wind howled. Thunder cracked though. The skies had not opened. She remained still. Then, slowly, her beauty began to vanish. Her smooth skin cracked and darkened like ash. Her once beautiful face became skeletal. The women gasped. She had never been young. Stories long hidden in secret shrines spoke of her. A woman betrayed by her husband, banished for using forbidden charms. Her blood was mixed with that of a river goddess. She begged to remain beautiful forever. She begged to never feel pain again. The goddess agreed, but at a cost. You will feed on the greed of men. You shall never love. You shall always hunger. Each time she slept with a man, she granted him wealth, but only enough to blind him, then took his soul. The beauty the men saw was borrowed. When she came to Umuole, she saw what she needed: broken, greedy men. Men who beat their wives. Men who abandoned their homes. Now, her mask cracked because the women dared to confront her. She turned to Mama Enkem, her voice like dry leaves. Your men came willingly. I did not chase them. Mama Enkem stood, smiling faintly. We only collect what was promised. Adiz turned back into the hut. The mirror glowed pink. Inside, the men looked like they were screaming, but no sound came. Mama Halima picked up a stone and flung it. It cracked. One woman begged, give us back our husbands. Adiz whispered, what greed takes cannot be returned. The wind stopped. The hut remained. The mirror remained. And the men inside kept watching. That night, Umuole did not sleep. Cries filled the air. Children clung to their mothers. The women returned limping, defeated. By morning, the village knew the men were trapped inside the mirror, and Adiz Iroanya had vanished. The chief, Igwe Akechi, whose son was among the missing, sat in silence. The chief priest, Alarunfamai, finally said, she has fed, but she will return. Not here, another village. Next time, she may take more. The villagers begged him to act. Can we bring their spirits back? This is not an ordinary curse. It was sealed in blood and desire. Alarunfamai replied. He spoke of Asani, the river goddess, who gave Adiz her power. Nobody had mentioned her name in generations. Then Mama Enkem stepped forward. She knew the way. Before she passed, her grandmother told her where the river lay. Only the pure-hearted could go. Adama, a young widow. Ekena, a boy whose father was trapped. And Mama Enkem volunteered. They were given tokens, a charm of illusions, a white cloth, and a dried feather to cross cursed waters. They walked into the forest, leaving behind a village torn by fear. Back at the palm grove, the mirror began to hum. Inside, Okafor opened his eyes and tried to scream. Something was watching. Each step through the forest felt unnatural. The wind carried strange whispers. The deeper they went, the more time slowed. The earth barely held their feet. The forest did not want to be found. They reached a clearing. At the center, a river still as glass. No ripples, no birds. The river of silence. Adama poured bitter leaf water. Ekena laid down the cloth. Mama Enkem knelt. River of waters, we come in peace, with heavy hearts. A daughter of your hand has trapped our men. The river moved. A single ripple. Then it split. A woman emerged tall, silver-eyed, hair flowing like water. Asani, the river goddess. Ekena fell to his knees. Adama trembled. Our husbands, our fathers. You blame the woman, Asani said. But what of the men? Did they not come willingly? Mama Enkem bowed. Greed cursed us all. Asani looked at Adama. Your heart is pure. She turned to Ekena. Your father was the first. He opened the door. You must choose. Burn the mirror, and the curse ends, but the men will be lost. Ekena wept. He had never known his father's embrace, only his mother's bruises. Still, he whispered, why did you do this to us? The mirror cracked. Ekena, it whispered, touch me. He stood, took the powder, walked forward. I forgive you, Papa, but this must end. He threw the powder. The mirror shattered. Sparks flew, wind howled, the faces vanished, the hut collapsed, the mirror was gone. But so were the men forever. Peace returned to Umuole. The remaining men wept, confessed, begged for forgiveness. Ikenna spoke little after that, but he walked with strength. A shrine stands where the mirror once was, not to worship Adiz Iroanya, but to remember. The plaque reads, "Greed opens wide the door, but behind it waits a hunger that never dies." And so Umuole learned the danger lies not in the witch who tempts, but in the heart that says yes.